Foul! Oh, shame! That's going to have a crack. He is, you know. Oh, I say!
Messi. Oh, brilliant skill from Lionel Messi. Surging forward with real menace here. Brilliant from Messi. Oh, what a goal that is!
Yes, good afternoon. SAVVA here from Football Heritage TV. Welcome to a live football phone-in show where people who don't normally get the opportunity to go online and talk get the opportunity to come online and talk. You hear from me all the time. You hear from all the other YouTubers. This is a chance for you to call in, come on screen and actually pick your topic. We can talk about whatever you want. It doesn't even have to be Spurs. As long as it's football related, please don't come on and have nothing to say. But so welcome to you all. Worst thing in the world is when people come on and just sit there, have a point, have something you want to discuss. And then what we'll do, we'll move people on one by one. So first of all, happy Tuesday afternoon to you all. It is swelteringly hot here in South London. I hope it's nice wherever you are. And happy birthday to Tottenham, 141 years of age today. And still just the 2 league titles. 2 and 141. That's not bad, right? It's one every 70 odd years. So we're doing all right, right? We're doing all right. That means, oh God, when must we be due another one? 61. We must be due a title in 3 years. We're due a title in 3 years. Put your money on it, everybody. Big up to everybody. Big up to all the people that have been joining in with the conversations in the last couple of days in the community chat, in the general chat on YouTube. Big up to the person who called me racist because I said James Maddison was our best player. Big up to that account as well. Big up to all of the online trolls. Big up to the members. Hope everybody as well. Let's see who's in the chat before we start getting a few people on. And when I put the link in, if everybody rushes to come in at once, you might be in a bit of a queue. So just wait patiently and I will get you on. But it will be one at a time. Otherwise, when you get 9 or 10 people on, it just descends into utter chaos. Big up to Ian Satwick, channel member, who has said, big up, SAVVA. Hope you're well. And ignore the idiot who said you were racist because Maddison is our best player. How dare you call a white player the best? What on earth is wrong with these idiots? Yeah, I like what he said. He said something like, what did he say? He said, I'm racist. Deep in my core, I'm racist and I just don't know it. Yeah, so we'll run with that. Big up to Kate, just a girl who loves Spurs. Big up to you, Kate. Hope you're well. Hope you and Jim were building that flat pack stuff successfully. Eddie's has said what's happening with Joe Lewis because Brian Daigle on Tottenham on Tour said that he's going to be in court against Day. I haven't seen any news about this, to be honest. I will check up on it later. I'll be honest, I don't think a lot is going to happen about that. But Alan Shepherd is here. Big up to Alan Shepherd. Lily White Lane, good evening to you. Tot Spur is here. Someone called Football Heritage TV is here as well. Whoever that is. Good afternoon to El Dante, the channel member. I've enjoyed my day thoroughly. Very, very hot here. Thank you very much. Mark Cook's in the chat. Big up to you, my friend. Potato Stew's in the chat. Big up Potato Stew. Who likes potato stew? Yeah, just asking. Good evening to you. Hope you are well as well, my friend. Paul Van Beek said, afternoon, SAVVA. Would you rather have Maddison or Kane? Maddison for me. I mean, like, I'm not going to answer that question. Kane's an absolute legend of this football club. And Maddison is currently a Spurs player. So I don't think there's anything to answer there. Phil Coy said, afternoon, SAVVA. Hope all is well. Hope our players come back from international duty unscathed. Missing the Prem already. I agree with all of that. That's the worry, isn't it? We don't want to suddenly see Christian Romero getting an injury or Basuma or Maddison or Sonny. Got to keep the players fit. El Dante, he's gone straight in with Maddison. He wants to be here. Phil P, big up Phil P, said the Ange Express train to picking up all the tribes and fractured parts of the fan base. Everyone is getting on board. You'd like to think so. You would like to think so. Today is a call-in show. Yes, today is a call-in show. So I will put the link in the chat in just a few minutes. Before I do, you know the rules, people. Smash the likes. Let's just smash the likes. It makes it a lot easier. And we're now only 10 subscribers away from 10,900. So if we can get 10 subscribers throughout the show, the link is pinned. Please do that. Big up to each and every one of you. Phil Peer, you back from holiday yet? Let me know, mate. Just chuck me a message a bit later on. El Dante says SAVVA deserves to be on Sky, but he's too true and not a sellout. So not everyone agrees with him, but he's a strong, passionate voice that deserves his moment. Can you imagine me on Sky? I'd be sacked within minutes. Big up to Rinketic, Warrior without Master. Love that. I said, hey all, big up to you. Paul Connor is here. Big up to Paul. Good evening to Matthew Lumsden. Sweeney Todd 70, good afternoon or evening or wherever you are. All right, Rodney, right. Do you know what? I almost wanted to message this person back and said, I grew up in Lewisham in the 1980s. If anyone believed that I could get away with being racist, they didn't go to my school. Oh, Rodney, these people make me laugh. I wonder whether or not, if I had said Basuma or Son was our best player, would I still have been called racist for not saying it was a white person? I feel like you can't win. But hey, it is what it is. Big up to you, Rodney. East London Gooners in the chat. Skyline's in the chat. Martin Knightsbridge is in the chat. Hello to all of you. Proud to be a Geordie. Said, interesting that Party is out for the Spain trip. Coincidence? I think not. SHH said, SAVVA, I only clocked you this last few months from rants and bant streams. You're becoming one of my favourite footy creators. Respect. Thank you very much. Really like that. Gio said, Galatasaray gaining experienced players can be one hell of a group stage. Yes, Bayern Munich, Man United and Galatasaray, right? All in the same group. So there's going to be lots of little subplots going on there. El Dante said, you're asking who likes someone in the chat. You hate people here. Waits for a troll to say that. Yeah. Listen. They come, they go. We call them out. They go away. They come back. Alan said you loved Kane, but times have to change and a nice 100 million. Yeah, we move on. Big up to Mario 2012. Big up to you, my friend. I hope that everything is well. Big up to all the people that have donated so far to the Just Giving page. As I'm sure you're all aware, we've got the 24-hour live charity stream on Saturday from midday through to Sunday at midday. No sleep for 24 hours, and then I'll sleep the rest of the day. And what came just now, as I said, there you go. You can see officially from the Tottenham Hotspur shop. You can see there. There we go. James Maddison. Okay. Number 10 on the back, James Maddison. This shirt will be auctioned on Saturday. And we will see who will give us the highest bid, obviously with all the money going to charity. And then I will send you the shirt afterwards. So big up to each and every one of you. Kyle, KPV, big up to you, my man. I hope you're well. Mental Spurs fan. Absolutely love Spurs, don't you, Carl? We all love Spurs. One of the good ones, Carl. So big up to you, my friend. Bill said, if I said to you that I prefer roast potatoes over mashed, does that make me racist? Yes, it does. Apparently in this world. Do you know what? I watch a lot of Ricky Gervais, and I love what he says. You know, like everyone's just offended, and just because you're offended doesn't mean that I've said anything offensive. It just means that you're an idiot, right? So I love all that stuff. Good evening, Drooler in the chat. Good evening to you. Multi-channels here. Listen, Game of Throw-ins is here. I said, evening, SAVVA. Here is a question. If Liverpool sell Salah in Jan, do they go again for Mbappe? I'll be honest, I can only see Mbappe ending up at Real Madrid on a free transfer. That's the only thing I can see. Anybody in the chat disagree? Let me know. I am going to put the link into the chat. What I'm going to ask for is just 9 more subscribers. That's all we need to get to 10,900. And then hopefully in the next 24 hours, we can hit the 11K mark. And like the show, you know the rules, people. Big up to each and every one of you. The link is going into the chat now. If you do want to come on and have a chat, you do need to have your camera on. You do need to have your name. and you do need to be wearing clothes. I know I shouldn't need to say it. It should just be a prerequisite for being live on the internet, right? But this is a world of strange human beings. I wonder if the person who called me racist will come on and explain to me why they call me racist. That could be good good viewing, couldn't it, for you lot? So big up anyone that wants to come in. The link is there. Have something to say. Let's have a discussion. It doesn't have to be about Son. Doesn't have to be about Maddison, new signings. It can be about Paratici. It could be about Levy. It could be about Conte. It could be about anything to do with Tottenham Hotspur. So the link is in the chat, and we'll just wait and see for a few people to just trickle on through. Josh Dean has said, hi, Sabs. I'll take that. I've been called worse. Do you feel concerned that Phillips will have to get minutes if anything goes wrong? No, I felt more concerned that Davinson Sanchez or Eric Dyer might have to get some minutes. All the noises are that Postecoglou really likes this guy. So it is what it is. I'm happy with it. The videos I've seen of him, he looks very composed, very assured. And listen, if you don't blood these youngsters in, when do they ever get a chance? Proud to be a Geordie. I said at Game of Throw-ins, if Mbappe wasn't going to Madrid, then 100%. I think that's it, right? Let's be brutally honest. Next year, Madrid are going to have Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe and Rodrigo in the same front three with Bellingham, Tchouaméni, Valverde, Camavinga. Can they wrestle back the Champions League from Manchester City? No one's taking up the offer at the moment of coming on, having a chat. Kind of defeats the point of the show, doesn't it? But the offer is there. Gary said the greatest trick Ange ever pulled was convincing the world that Spurs couldn't win the league in his first season. Gary, weren't you the one calling me out something about a bet? What bet was you? You were calling me out about some sort of bet. Listen, I don't think we're going to win the league in the first season. I think we need to calm down a bit. Let's relax on the whole. We're going to win the league talk. Revanite, absolutely. Ricky Gervais is spot on. Yeah, just because I say something, I'm not in all cases, but if I say something that offends you, it doesn't necessarily mean what I said was offensive. It's just how you want to take it. So if I turn around and say, I think Davinson Sanchez is crap, if that offends you, cool, but it's not an offensive thing to say. Stu MC has said Rice caught upfield for Rashford goal, jogged back, made the Horlicks for the Garnacho disallowed goal. Media partial analysis, as usual, with their favourite foot. Listen, yeah, I didn't think Rice had a great game. And then all the Arsenal fans immediately after the event, oh my God, Rice is brilliant. No, Rice scored a goal, right? He scored a goal and now he's worth 105 million. But that's just the way football fans work. So listen, the link is there, people. 294 of you at the moment have tuned in for a phone-in show and no one wants to come on and say anything. So I guess I'll just sit out here at my front on my own. Good job. I'm comfortable with that. I said, when Kane left, I thought our season was over, but we're playing so well without him and with Maddison in the team. He's helping us a lot. In Big Ange we trust. Yeah, listen, I think that a lot of the people got carried away talking about, oh my God, if Kane leaves, we're not going to score goals. Well, we scored 11 in 4 games. So what? We're just under averaging 3 goals a game. If Kane goes, we're going to be in a relegation battle. If Kane goes, we can't win games. Sometimes the problem is that a club is so focused on one player that you don't build and grow as a team. I'm not blaming Kane for that. I'm blaming the managers. But, we should have been adding the likes of Maddison in to play with Kane, but Conte didn't want James Maddison, apparently. We should have been adding these players in like Van der Ven, but we didn't. We went for the players like Longley. So, it is what it is. Paul Connor said, Mbappe to Spurs. Here we go. Once Ange wins the league in the first season. Jeez, can you imagine? No, neither can I. Big up, Balpinda. Afternoon to you. Afternoon to everybody in the chat as well. Guys and girls, smash that like button. At the moment, we're struggling to get anybody who wants to come on and have their say. The link is there, people. Otherwise, I can just continue reading out comments, answering questions. It's no skin off my teeth. El Dante has said, big up KPV, and KPV in the building. Big up to you. Yeah, top player. Really good player, Jude Bellingham. You think he's been doing it since he was 16 as well. He's been doing it for 4 years now and already got a big money move to Madrid. It doesn't feel like he's 19 or 20, does it? Don't know what he is, 19 maybe. Big up to Rodney. Said, how rude of me. Afternoon, SAVVA and the gang. That racist comment made me laugh. Rodney, it's just one of those ones where you just look, when you look at something and you go, oh, my head hurts. Like, like you're thinking, these people exist among us. These people still are air. But big up. If anyone does think I'm racist, feel free. Come on, put some pants on. Yes, you would have to put some pants on. Yes, it's just a prerequisite for being live on the internet. Robert Wilson has said, wonder what international Ange will watch during the break. Oliver, if you're backstage, you're going to need to put your camera on, my friend. Without the camera on, no one's going to be coming on screen. So I need to get your camera on, and then you'll be allowed to come on screen and talk about whatever you want. No one's got clothes on. Apparently we've got a naked room. Everybody in the room is naked, which is worrying. Josh Dean said, do you think Ange is here to stay? Or do you think in a couple of months we'll find himself in a situation like Conte? I think the difference between the two is Conte. Oliver, you've got to put your camera on, mate, or I won't be able to let you on. Conte, for me, made it sound like he was doing us a favour being at the club, whereas I think Postecoglou sees it as a massive challenge. And this guy doesn't need 70, 80 million pound signings. This guy will take your Van der Vens. He'll take your doggies. He'll take your, he'll take these players like Solomon on a free. So for me, I don't think he'll be going anywhere. Phil Marshall, I'm going to kick you, Phil. By kick you, I mean kick you from the studio. You've not put your camera on, my friend, so I'm going to kick you from the studio. By the way, guys and girls, the link is there. If anyone wants to come on and make a then let me know. Oliver Dots, I get a feeling I know this is. But let's go. We've got Tyrell Gunner inside the stream. Tyrell, are you there, Tyrell? You were there, then your camera went. And there's your camera. Tyrell, how are you, man? You need to tilt your camera a tiny bit, my friend. There we go. That's better. How are you?
Bro? What's up, bro?
How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, mate. Listen, I'm really, really good. Really good. Spurs fan?
Arsenal fan.
Arsenal fan. Just joking, mate. I can see from the name. What is it that you want to talk about?
Anything, man. Partey injury, probably. Yeah, the Partey injury.
The Partey injury. I mean, what do you think this does to your team? Because a lot of people were saying that Arsenal were going to be, once Partey went back into midfield, everything was going to be great. And now it looks like you're going to have Havertz in there for the foreseeable future. How are you feeling about Partey out and Havertz in?
The Partey situation, I'm just upset with it, man, because when Partey's in there in the midfield, he just keeps it together. He's good at controlling the midfield, like especially from last season when I was watching him.
Yeah.
Done a really brilliant job there. And now that he's out, I'm just worried now because we got Jorginho, but Arteta would just play Havertz because of the price tag paid for him. So.
And what do you make of Havertz? I mean, he seems to be taking a lot of the blame for Arsenal's performances. Is he as bad as everyone's saying?
Yeah, I was, but bro, I said to myself, I wanted to give him a chance, but the chance that he had over the weekend against Man United, that sums up Kai Havertz right there. That chance that he had, like, you have to take that chance in a big match, like you have to. So,
Sure. Yeah, I mean, look, you've got to, but at the end of the day, is it his fault? Like, I'm saying, is it his fault as though you're a terrible team? You're third in the league. What's he done that's so bad? Why everyone's jumping on his back? And if his name wasn't Havertz, and if you didn't know him from Chelsea, would everyone be on his back so soon, or would they be saying, give him some time?
I'd say probably maybe give him some time.
Right. So are we seeing a little bit of recency bias?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah? Talk to me about Arsenal just quickly before I let you go and get someone else on. Talk to me about Arsenal. You've got Spurs coming up. What's your hope?
Yeah.
Sorry?
I I just want us to keep on with this form. After the Man United game, I think that's kicked off our season right there, because from the start of the season we've been poor, and that United game yesterday, I think we'll kick on from that performance.
So, but what's the minimal expectations for you this season? You finished second last year, didn't win any trophies. What's this season about for you?
We have to win a trophy this season. Arteta has to.
Arteta has to win a trophy.
Yes.
So what if you finished outside the top 4 and won a trophy? How would the fans feel?
Yeah, no, he has to finish in the top 4 and win a trophy.
He has to do both.
Yes.
Okay, so if he finishes 4th and wins the League Cup, Arsenal fans going to be happy?
I'll take that, yeah.
You would take that. So you would take going down from 2nd down to 4th, as long as it is with some trophies as well?
Yeah.
You would?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any last things you want to say about Arsenal or anything football related before I get someone else on?
No, I got nothing else to say. That's it, really.
No. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And listen, I'm sure we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, cheers, SAVVA.
No, you're welcome, mate. Thank you very much. Take care, mate. Let's get on the Revenite. Big up to you, my friend. To John, how are you?
I'm all good there, SAVVA. Thanks for getting me on here.
Yeah, no worries at all. What is it that you wanted to talk about, my friend?
So yeah, I'm a Liverpool fan. Before I answer, so yeah, I just wanted to talk a little about the Salah situation, because, like, with a lot of things like you talk about, if you say something, then that means you hate the player, or because I've got kind of a situation where I look at the future of the club before this season, because a lot of people are just talking about this season, and I feel like if the offer gets too big, I think we can't just keep saying no. Like, there has to be a point where we say yes, and then we use the money to beef up the squad if we want to compete with City, because City have a lot of brilliant players to in each position in the important areas. They don't have them for every area, but they have them for the important areas. So I feel like at some point we have to cave to that, because a lot of people are saying next season we will get the money, but it's going to be 100 million less in my mind. I don't think we're going to get 250 again, or anywhere near that.
Well, that's got to be half the problem, hasn't it, my friend? Is that it's a lot of money for someone of that age, but the difficulty, surely, my friend, the difficulty has got to be that right now, if you let him go now, have you got enough to see you through the season? I know that sounds crazy because you've got a lot of players, but have you got enough?
I think that's a tricky question. I think it's very hard to answer that, because if you let him go, there's a possibility that you could get through and we could still scrape top 4, because I think our season's very much in the balance right now. It could go very well and we could challenge and we could win some cups, or we could or it could go, or we just get top 4 and the season is a disappointment. But if we sell Salah, we could still maybe get top 4 and have the extra money. But it's such a fine balance that it's hard to know which way to go.
Do you think you're in a title race with Salah?
That I'd say we could be. I'm like 70% that we could be.
70%. I mean, look, everyone was writing you off. Everyone said that you'd had a terrible window. Everyone was saying it was disastrous. You've played 4 games. You've got 10 points. You haven't lost a game all season. From what I saw, you should have absolutely buried Aston Villa. I thought you had chance after chance after chance. Last thing I want to say, obviously, I want to make sure I can keep it rolling and get people on. I want to ask you about Darwin Nunez. I like Darwin Nunez. I think he's a real enigma of a player. I feel like he's unorthodox, languid, awkward, but I think that that's a good thing because centre-halves don't know how to play against him. Would you expect to see more of him moving forward?
Yeah, I'm very much on your wavelength. I'm a big fan of his. To be honest, in our fan base, I'd say it's like a 60-40 split. And I think there's a lot of people that like Darwin Nunez, and then there's a lot of people that have already written him off. And whatever he does, he'll have to do like messy stuff to even get a decent rating from him. Because I saw he was involved in all our goals the other day, and I was looking through the comments of certain videos and people giving him 4 out of 10. How in the world is that a 4 out of 10 performance the other day? What, he hit the woodwork, so that gives him a 4 out of 10. Like, he's almost threatening player in my opinion. Salah's got the technique to find him, but he's the one always going in behind, and we don't have anyone like him.
Yeah, listen, I'll be honest, when I watched a game the other day, I thought that he did some really good things. Yeah, could have grabbed a couple of goals, but listen, he did the game before. I think if you keep playing him consistently, I think you've got a 20-goal a season man there. I think he's a good player. But hey, that's just me. Listen, Revanite, thanks so much for coming on, my friend. And I'm sure we'll speak to you again soon.
Yeah, thanks, Sava. Thanks for having me on. See you soon.
No worries, man. Listen, goodbye. Take care. Next up, we've got, oh God, hang on, my order's gone completely wrong. So apologies if someone was here first, but Phil, you've come up next in my order. So I hope you were next. Big up, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, all good, mate, all good. How's things for yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. You know, this end, you know, this, that, the other, being racist, doing these bits and bobs, you know, just trying my best, you know. What is it you want to talk about, Phil?
So also I pinged the question over in the chat earlier about what do you think, which one do you think's got a better atmosphere? White Hart Lane, the OG, or Mark II? Now, obviously, the increase in capacity, I don't look at it in that respect. I look at it more sort of like how close you are to the pitch and just like the actual general feel within the stadium from the fans. Because me personally, I mean, I still think the OG White Hart Lane is better.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to always pick this. Always going to have the same answer, my friend. I just don't think you can beat White Hart Lane. The old school pitches just seem to have that atmosphere. Like when you go to Villa Park, when you go to Craven Cottage, when you go to some of these clubs that haven't actually had the upgrade, it feels less of an entertainment arena and more of a football stadium.
Yeah.
For me, obviously I won't go at the moment just because of my own beliefs of the owners and what they're like, but I have obviously been to the new stadium, and when I was there, it didn't feel like a fortress. It didn't feel like clubs are going to come here and be absolutely intimidated. It felt like their fans are coming for a lovely day out with lovely drink.
It's more of a show, or a spectacle.
Right. Like you're going to see a concert. That's what I think it feels like there. Would that be fair?
I mean, for me personally, the one thing that I've done North London derbies at the old and also the new. I was even at the semi-final in '91. Then, for me personally, the old White Hart Lane, because you just felt a lot closer. It felt a lot more packed in. So obviously the sound you felt the sound more as opposed to sort of just hearing it. Everything just felt more personal at the old ground. The new one, don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic stadium and the noise there is out of this world. But for me, it's just lacking that bit of sort of, I don't know, it's just missing something.
I agree with you. When you go there, it doesn't feel like, I don't know, that whole kind of being squashed in and you were like tight with the person next to you. When the goal went in, everyone's mental. Yeah. Now it's just, I don't know, now it's kind of like, it's comfortable. It's like, I know that sounds weird and everyone wants comfort.
Yeah, it's like at the old one.
I want a football.
Yeah, like when you say there, you're right up close against each other. But then you felt like one unit as opposed to 60,000 fans.
Yeah. I think when you look at a lot of these clubs that have done it right, I mean, Arsenal's the same. Went to the old Highbury. Yep. No one wanted to play at Highbury, small pitch, fans right on top of you. Even with Man City, if I've been to Main Road, if anyone remembers Main Road, I've been up there a few times. Wonderful atmosphere. I've been there since it's been the Etihad. It's not quite the same. But
it's the same like Filbert Street as well. I used to hate going to Filbert Street.
Yeah.
Because it was intimidating.
Do you know what? When I was younger, when I had my season ticket for years and years, I used to love going to Southampton. Used to love going to the Old Dell. Coventry, going down to
Yeah, it weren't the
God.
Rico Arena. It was before that, wasn't it?
No, God, what was Coventry's called? Highfield Road.
Yeah.
Those were proper little football stadiums where you got a dirty little burger. You had a couple of shabby pubs in the local area. Now it all feels like it's a day out. Do you know what I mean? So
it's just sort of it's more like a social event, like you say, like going to a concert or something. It's just a show. It's not a football match for the fans.
Yeah, no. Listen, I completely agree with you. Listen, is there anything else you wanted to mention before I get something else on?
I mean, the only other thing I wanted to add on, the message has turned up with a bloody shopping as well. But I'm concerned that we're not going to have the firepower to sustain the level that we're at the moment. I've said it before. Richarlison needs to go. We should never have bought him in the first place. He's not even worth. I mean, in my opinion, he's not a striker. He's a bottom sort of half of the table player. We should have got Orban or or Vlahovic, anyone, because we can't rely on Son to lead that front line. Personally, myself.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, look, I think that there's going to be loads of games where Sonny does what he did against Burnley. I'm interested to see what happens when we play against teams who play what I used to just call a good defense, but now it's called a low block. For teams that sit in, that's going to be the interesting thing when he hasn't got room to run into. But I would definitely in January, I've said it this summer as well, I would definitely get another forward, another centre half. I think if we really want to kick on, and I think there's some good young strikers around that I would start looking at. I think you're right. But for me, the key thing now is we need Sonny to kick on because he is what we've got. Richarlison, I thought you were very polite about. For me, I don't even think he's a bottom half Premier League striker. I think he is absolutely
got to be politically correct, don't we?
Not me. Nah, I'm on a roll today, so why not? But listen, I do think that we've got 15 games between now and the window opening.
Yeah.
And look, we need 7 or 8 goals in those 15 games from Sonny, right? You need him to score. Maddison needs to continue to score goals. Solomon, Kulu, Perisic, Brennan Johnson, these guys are all going to have to chip in with goals. So look,
I think Brennan Johnson will.
I mean, I'm on the fence with this guy. I can only go by what I've seen. He looks very quick. I want to see what he's like when he's playing the link-up play, but listen, he's a Spurs player now. I'll get behind him and
likewise.
But listen, enjoy putting the shopping away with your missus. I know that's what you've got to go and do. Listen, cheers, Phil. Appreciate it.
You take care, buddy. Have a good one.
And you take care, mate. Bye-bye.
Take care, mate. Bye.
Let's bring on Ratish. Ratish, how are you, my man?
I'm good, SAVVA. Thank you very much. How are you?
Yes, I'm very, very well. Your internet looks like it's not having much love for you today. But what is it? Remind me, Ratish, are you, was it Arsenal, Man U?
What's that?
Who do you support? Remind me.
Oh, so Spurs.
It is Spurs, is it? You are Spurs?
Yeah.
Apologies. I get so many people who come through. I apologise. What is it that you want to talk about, my friend? What's going on?
Nothing much. Just 2-3 points really. So far, it's been a fantastic start to the season for us. I mean, 10 points from 12. What more can you ask for? I mean, saying that we just want to keep our feet on the ground, just to stay grounded, rather than going over the top. I think the big test for this team is after the international break. So after Sheffield United, it's Arsenal, Liverpool back to back. We'll see how if I think those 2 games in particular will determine where we will finish. I know it's early days still, but if we continue to perform like we've been doing, let's say fast forward to October, November time, so like 12, 13 games in, then conversation will be totally different.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, we're in a rock and a hard place, right? As fans, it's nice to be excited, right? It's nice to look at something and go, you know what? I like this. I'm on board with this. I like the players we've got now. I like the manager we've got. But at the same time, I think we've seen a million false dawns, and I'm not saying this is one, but we have seen a million false dawns where we get really excited. We tell the world, Spurs are back. Watch out. We're coming for you. Then we drift off, and then we get absolutely cussed by every other fan base.
Sure.
So it's that kind of balancing act. So I don't know about you. I always think that after 10 to 12 games of the season, the table will start to sort of form a bit more of a pattern as to who's going to be up there, who's not. Obviously, there's going to be a bit of movement, but you can kind of start to see who's made who's made of good stuff and who isn't. Would that be fair?
No, 100%. I echo that same sentiment, because once we, as I said a minute ago, once we get to November time, if we continue to perform like that, then conversation will be totally different. I mean, in terms of outgoings, briefly, Sanchez and Ndombele going, I think we're slowly taking steps in terms of removing the deadwood from our squad, and I think Ange's starting to put his stamp on the team. I think from an attacking perspective, goals have to be spread across, not just Maddison, but Son, Kulu, Perisic, Solomon, even Brennan Johnson. I think, we have to give him a chance. I think, we don't want to judge too quickly. So that's about it, really. And one more thing to wrap it up, Sav, is the Sancho Ten Hag scenario. I think what's happening over at Man United, I think at the moment, that club is becoming a soap opera, like for the wrong reasons. I mean, the way I see it, from my viewpoint, is it's very easy to jump to conclusions. So I look at it from two sides. I think on the manager's side, ETH, I think he's trying to, set out the right principles. He is the manager of that football club, and I think he's doing what's best for the players, if that makes sense. So that's one side. Whereas on Sancho's side, I think, you can understand his frustration. He hasn't had game time this season, but at the same time, he's, what is it, 72 million they paid for him? Like, he's on astronomical wages. He's not performed since he come to United. So I think, like I said, I can understand from both sides, but I think publicly there's just no need to dish it out, just keep it in-house.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing with this is that I look at it from both points of view. First of all, for me, this is the type of thing that Conte did that I don't like. It's all of this airing your dirty laundry in public, right? Yes. I'm not a fan of that. I don't think that should be the way that it's done. I think you should keep these things in-house. I'm not just saying Conte. I mean, Jose was a master of that. There's been loads of managers that seem to have these fallouts with players. For me, I don't think Ten Hag should have said what he said. Equally, I don't think that Sancho should have come back and said what he said. Now it looks like a relationship that's irreparable. The question I would ask, if I'm Sancho, I would look deep at myself, Ratish, and say, well, hang on. This is now what, the third manager?
That's right, third manager.
Is this the third manager that he's not managed to get consistent minutes under?
That's it.
At what point do you say to yourself, it's me? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not him. It's me. Same with Ndombele, right? Same with Ndombele. Can't keep saying, no, it's the managers, it's the formations, it's the strategy.
The player has to take responsibility for himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. As a player, like, you have to pull your weight, because there's no point sulking. Like, you have to stop feeling sorry for yourself. Like, you just have to prove the manager wrong. Like, if in any walks of life, not just in the football scenery, but in a business or any organization, like, if a CEO tells you that you're not pulling your weight, like, if you don't pass in terms of your probation, if you're not on track to pass it, or you have to take constructive feedback on board just to improve it. So it's the same with any sport, really. You have to learn how to take criticism on board rather than just throwing toys out the pram.
Listen, I completely agree with you. Unfortunately, we're in an era now where when you've got squads of 25, 30 people, not everyone's going to get guaranteed minutes. And it doesn't matter whether you were 15 million or 115 million, you're not guaranteed game time. And that's a sign of the times. So it is what it is. Pep Guardiola, biggest case in point. Those players have to be really happy with rotating, but they know at the end of it, there's going to be success. So it is what it is, right?
Absolutely. All right. I think that's it, really. So I don't want to take up too much time. Really enjoy your shows, programs.
Thank you. I really appreciate you coming on. So thank you very much for doing that.
Enjoy the rest of the day. Take care. And good.
Thank you. And you, my friend.
Take care.
Big up. Take care, mate. I'm going to get Yuvraj on. Just before I do, smash the like button, people. And come on, we are only 8 subscribers away from 10,900. It's been very slow since the international break started. Let's get those likes and subscribes up. And if anyone else did want to come on, I've got Yuvraj, then I've got Kate. And then after that, other people will be able to come on Oliver asked me to unblock him and then disappeared. I did unblock him. I don't know what he did that was blocked, but hey, it is what it is. Yuvraj, clearly you look like an Arsenal fan. Is that correct?
Nah, Liverpool fan. Liverpool. Whoa.
Yeah,
You
I've got you, mate.
Yeah.
I've got you, mate. I've got you, mate. I've got you. Talk to me, Yuvraj. How are you? What's going on?
Well, the Salah Saudi stuff is all going away. It's actually frustrating especially because if it was early in the window, I'd have been like, all right, I can consider it. But now we can't. I think the main question is if it depends how you look at our situation. If you think we're going to be in a title race and maybe have a chance, you want Mo to stay. If you think that way we have no chance of a title race in top 4, I'd say you sell Mo. I'm in the middle because if you obviously the bid apparently is more than 200 million, which is madness, 220 million pounds. But then I actually don't know, man, because can we deal with the first half of the season without Mo? That's been the main question. Because in January, I think we're going to go for someone if Mo goes. I don't know if we can. It's difficult because I think Szoboszlai can play there, right wing, if you can. But then that loses your depth in midfield. You're ruining his game. So I don't know. Like, I wouldn't sell, but at the same time, you look at the money, you're like, you're never going to get that money for him ever again. Like, next time I would sell still. Next time I think you get probably around 100 million. But like, this money is madness. You're never going to get this money again. And I would consider selling just because I think we can get through first half of the season, maybe around top 4. I don't think title we can get. Because for me, even if we keep Mo, I don't think we're going to title race. But I think we can be around there. But I don't think we can be in like an Arsenal like last season. We're always in. I think we're going to drop off a bit. So I would actually sell Mo. Get to January. Just get to January. Then you can go for. Because I think the club will probably go for like a Bowen like level. Because I know the club usually when they sell a big guy, they don't like big player.
Someone like what you talk about, Jared Bowen of West Ham.
Yeah, like that type of level player where like it's.
Do you know what I would say, Yuvraj? Listen, do you know what I'd say? I think this is a real difficult one, right? Because this is very similar to the Harry Kane situation, but with one massive twist. We did it when there were 3 weeks of a transfer window to go, right? Yeah. You're doing it, or I'm not saying you've done it yet. If you do it in the next 48 hours, which is when the window shuts, you're doing it, and it's Klopp turning around and saying, I can cope without Mo Salah. Now, this is one of two things. You sell Salah, you get 215 million, you plan for the future, and you beat everyone before you, and everyone goes, what a wonderful decision from the club. It doesn't matter that Mo Salah's gone. Wow, we're great. The opposite to that is you sell Mo Salah, you start planning to spend the money, but you absolutely fall off a cliff. You're nowhere near Champions League football again. And all of a sudden, every fan on a knife edge will go, oh my God, what a terrible decision. Yeah. We've let Mo Salah go. We deserve this. I think you've got enough that you can cope without him. I do. But again, it depends what your beliefs and hopes are for this season.
Yeah, because originally, look, I think we shocked people with our start because if you told me you got 10 points out of 12, I'd be like, no way. Because obviously, it was actually a hard 4 games for us. We got Chelsea away, then Newcastle away, then we got Villa and forgot the other team actually. Bournemouth. Yeah, Bournemouth.
I think you've had a hard start. I think you've had a really hard start. Newcastle, Villa, and Chelsea, all in the space of 4 games. Yeah. You've got 10 points. Why can't you go on a title charge?
The issue is like it depends how you define title charge. Because for me, title charge is like if you're in a title, that means you're around in it until like January, you fall off a cliff. For me, a title charge is when you're in there like for whole season. For me, I think we could with Mo. If Mo stays, I think we could do like a little title charge where we're in it until like Jan. But now I think we might fall off a bit. I think we get top 4, but I just don't. I think we fall off. But even without Mo, I don't think we're in like a full title charge. I think it'll be Arsenal, City potentially fan for the league. But like I said, it's all your expectations are. Like, it depends all your expectations for the season. That's really it. If you want to sell Mo,
I agree. Listen, I'm going to let you go because I've got a few people in the background that I want to start getting in. I'm just going to say to you this. I actually think you're going to finish second this year. I think that the difference with you and Arsenal, I think you're very similar to Arsenal. I think the difference is they're going to have to put out their best team for Champions League. I don't think I don't think you will have to for your Europa League group. I think that you will fly through it. And I actually think you've bought some very good midfielders and you've got 5 forwards who will all score goals. So as long as you can keep tight at the back, I think that Liverpool will finish second. But listen, Juraj, thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
All right, buddy, you take care. Right, I'm going to bring in Kate, then I've got Rinketic, then I've got DJ Paul, 703. Does that mean there was 702 DJ Pauls before you, or just a number that you like? Kate, just a girl who loves Spurs. Have you finished all your flat packing today?
Oh, for today, yeah. It's not finished, but yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. So
good.
I don't do the flat packing. That's Jim's department. I was doing the cleaning.
Why not? Do you know what? Whenever myself and my missus have flat pack, I think she wants to do it because she thinks she can do it better than me, and she can. So, yeah, you know, it is what it is. Kate, let's have a quick chat about football. What is it you wanted to say, my friend?
I wanted to ask you, now we've got Ndombele out the door and Sanchez, and incorporating that into the transfer window with Ange coming in, what you now would give the window out of 10?
I hate this question so much. I hate rating windows of anyone out of 10 because whatever happens, putting your face on YouTube, people will just shove this down my throat in one way or another.
Yeah.
I would say it puts it to a 6 for me. I still think we needed to add another centre-back. I still think we've left ourselves pretty short at the back. Not saying I don't trust Phillips. Obviously, he's a young lad. Hopefully, he comes good. But I still think that we all knew we needed centre-halves and we only got one. I still think we needed another forward. I think if Son gets injured, first of all, Son needs to get form. One game isn't form. We need to see consistency, my favourite word. But second of all, I think that if you lose him, you're then back to Richarlison. And I just don't think that's good enough. I don't see him as I'm really harsh on him because I think he's absolutely shocking. One of the worst Brazilian players I think I've ever seen in my life. And I'm sure the old school Brazilian players look at him and go, this guy can't be Brazilian. Like he can't be Brazilian. Yeah. So 6, is that harsh? Is that?
No, I would have said 5.5. So I'm actually harsher than you, but
right.
Mainly because of the centre back issue. I still am baffled that we haven't strengthened the back line. The other question I had for you is, who do you think's been the signing of the summer for any club in the Premier League?
Oh wow! Just put it on me. Listen, I'm gonna sound completely biased. Listen, and anything I say is after 4 games, right? I'm gonna put James Maddison in with a shout. I think that for 40 million, when you're looking at the fees that other players have gone for, this guy is. I mean, look, if you look at 40 million for Maddison, 25 million Basuma and 15 million Papasar. When you look at that midfield for 80 million, and then you look at other clubs paying out 60 million for midfielders that have played 19 Premier League games. It's absolutely mental. Other clubs have made good signings. I think Diaby at Villa, I'm a huge fan of him. I think he's a top player. I think he'll score a lot of goals, get a lot of assists. Where else are we? I actually think that Rasmus Højlund of Man United, I think once he gets going and firing, I think he's going to be the focal point that they've not had for a while. From what I saw of him last year in Serie A and already saw the other day against Arsenal, he's a forward that wants to go and be a centre forward. Yeah. He wants to tackle the defenders. He wants to put himself about. Whereas most forwards now seem to drop deep and want to run in behind. He wants to, like Darwin Nunez, he wants to go and have that fight. And I love a centre forward that wants to go and have the fight. I think old school, right? All these memories of Shearer elbowing centre halves in the face and stuff. Like that. That's what you're on about. Yeah. So I'm probably doing some clubs of massive. Who are you going with? Have you got any names in mind?
Yeah, I mean, I looked at the chat as I asked, and El Dante said exactly what I'd have said. Madison and Diaby were the first 2 that were in my brain. I think they're both made such a massive difference to the clubs that they've gone to. But then you've got to look at the difference James Ward-Prowse has made to West Ham already. So, you know, he's the sort that get overlooked, but he's made a big difference to West Ham already.
When you look at James Ward-Prowse, I think if sometimes I look at it and go, manager, player, ethos, right?
Mhm.
And when I look at West Ham's manager, the ethos he adopts and what James Ward-Prowse does, it kind of just goes like hand into glove, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're a big team. West Ham are a big team. And his set pieces they're phenomenal, aren't they?
Yeah.
They really
Yeah.
are. I'm surprised no one, my West Ham mates, if they're watching this, will kill me. I'm surprised no one bigger came in for him, if I'm brutally honest.
Yeah, me too.
But I think it fits them like a glove. I think West Ham have made a couple of kudos. Wait till that boy gets going. He's a wonderful player. I think Alvarez that West Ham have signed as well. He's a really good player. Listen, Brighton, João Pedro looks like he's, listen, I'm not saying he's the greatest player in the world, but he causes defensive problems every time he comes on. So there's been some good players. I actually agree with this. I think Kovacic at Man City, tough job. He's had a bad year at Chelsea, not because he's bad, but because Chelsea are bad. He's almost been brought in as the kind of Gundogan, I'm not saying like for like, but the Gundogan replacement. And every time I watch Man City, this guy looks like he's got a brand new lease of life.
Yeah.
Vardiol speaks for himself, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to think. Arsenal, I really like Urian Timber. I'm sure they'll be gutted that he
Sangari.
Sangari. I'm looking forward to seeing him play for Nottingham Forest. So, yeah. So, look, there's a few, and I'm sure some of Brooks down at Brooks. Alex Scott at Bournemouth. I think when he gets going, I think that'll be good as well. So, there's a few.
Okay. But that was all I wanted to know. I thought I'd put you on the spot, so I'll let you crack on now.
It's all up there, Kate. It's all up there. Don't worry. But big up to you. Listen, Kate, I'll speak to you later. Thank you very much. See you soon.
No worries. Take care.
Take care.
Okay.
I'm going to bring Rinketic on and then DJ Paul 703. Big up, my man. Rinketic, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. Excited, bought tickets for the Serbia games. Excited to watch a proper striker in Vlahovic.
Who's that? Serbia versus?
Lithuania.
So you're going to what? Serbia versus Lithuania?
I live like 4 hours away from it. So.
Wow. Where is the game? In Serbia? In Lithuania?
In Lithuania.
Oh, wow. Do you live in Lithuania?
I live in Riga right now.
Ah, okay. I've been there on a stag do. But that's a completely different story to talk about. I've been there. Big up to you. Listen, what did you want to talk about, my friend?
I got two questions. So the first one is, I know there were like Orban talks about like, we can buy him for 30 million, but no one knows if we actually could buy him for 30 million.
Mm-hmm.
So would you mind like buying players 1 year early, but loan them out back to the original club? Like Leipzig, we did with Šeško. They bought him for like 20 million, but they were like, Salzburg, you can have him for like 1 year. We take him next year.
Yeah, listen, I've got nothing against it. I think it all depends on how good that player is, right? I.e., if we look at Udogie, Udogie was bought with the, hey, we're only going to sell him if we can have him for another year on loan and then he comes back to you. I think that works. I think if you're buying a player like Orban's talent for a team that need firepower, you would say, hang on, we don't want to buy a goal scorer and then leave him where he is. So I think it all depends on who the player is, but I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it in general. Clubs like Real Madrid, clubs like Barcelona, they do this a lot. They buy a lot of players from like the Brazilian league, the Portuguese league, and they leave them at their club for a year to 18 months to develop and then take them when they're a little bit more polished. What about you? Do you mind it?
No, actually, no. Like I've seen like with like we can take this Šeško example. Like last year, if we went to like Leipzig, he will fight with like 4 other players. He stayed in Leipzig where the starter, and now he's like the second or first striker, and then he's like banging in goals.
I think that's the thing. You've got to have a look. Whenever you buy a player, I think you've got to say, right, what are we buying them for? Are we buying them for the now? Are we buying them for the future? Would they be better off that we buy now because we see their potential, but we leave them where they are, where they're guaranteed football, versus do we bring them here and they don't play? Which is why I was a bit surprised, if I'm honest. When we bought Aleo Valise, I thought that they might leave him at Rosario
I was thinking
for the
that
rest of the
as
season.
well.
But listen, I mean, I guess it all depends on what is the plan that the manager's got for these players. What are they buying them for? And I think that with Postecoglou, I think we can be safe to say that he's got a plan. And so whatever he chooses to do with these players, I think we can be comfortable that it's going to be the right thing for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And what was your second question?
So it's more a bit personal, but it's not way too personal. It's about I know you don't want to go to like games and stuff.
Sure.
And it's because of the ownership. But let's say if Levy starts consistently, like starts spending money on like proper players that we actually need, would you go back to games, or what would change your mind? That's the question.
Yeah, listen, I don't find that personal. I thought you were going to ask me something about my life then. No, that's absolutely fine. Listen, I was like, oh, what's he going to ask? Look, for me, I think it's more of I've not liked these owners since 2007. For me, I find it really contradictory when people complain about the price, they complain about the owners, and then go and stick money in their pockets and go. So I don't. For me, what I've said all the time, all I want to see is a plan. And my biggest issue has been that the owners have been here for 23 years. Every now and then something starts going well and people suddenly forget that the owners have been bad. So like right now, no one's talking about the owners because Postecoglou's made us feel good, which is great, right? But I don't forget in the background that these owners, when push comes to shove, when Postecoglou gets us, hypothetically, when Postecoglou's turning around to the board and going, right, I'm in third place, the January transfer window's open, I'm 4 points off the top, how are you going to support me in terms of us going on a title charge? I'm just hypothetical. I'm not saying this will happen before everyone clips it and says SAVVA says we're going to win the league. When they go to him and go, right, where's Vlahovic? Go and get me Vlahovic, he'll win us a league. Go and get me Tapsoba, whoever it may be. That's when the owners don't do what they need to do. So for me, I want to see that year in, year out, the club has got a plan, that there's a plan with the academy, that there's a plan with the strategy of managers, i.e., if Postecoglou left next year, what are they going to do bringing a manager in? Are they going to continue with the same vein of philosophy of football, or are they just going to go and get whichever name that plays a completely different style of football? So for me, there's a lot of nuances to this rather than just, is it going well now versus 23 years of not really creating. Listen, I suppose, let me sum it up like this. I'll end it by saying this. These owners have been here 23 years. After 23 years, right, of owning a football club or owning a business or you started up your company 23 years ago, now you're 23 years old, I expect that you should be a well-oiled machine in every department. I expect that the youth is well-oiled. We know the pathway from youth team to first team, and that we're bringing through players the way City and Chelsea do. And those that don't quite make it are still being sold for 35, 40 million. I would expect that a transfer model is a well-oiled model. I would expect that the ethos of the club is everyone goes, that's Spurs. That's a Spurs player. That's how Spurs play. And I've not seen that for 23 years. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they took over like a few months before I was born.
Right, okay. Yeah. What are you, 20? What are you, 20?
22. I was born 2001.
You've missed the glory years, my friend. You've missed the glory years. But look, listen, Rinketic, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Enjoy, did you say it was Lithuania, Serbia?
Serbia, yeah.
Serbia. Okay, mate. Listen, you enjoy that. And listen, take care. I'll see you soon, all right?
Bye.
All right, buddy. I'm going to bring on DJ Paul in 1 second. And there's the link. If anyone else would like to come on afterwards, the link is in the chat. Paul, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. I just wanted to shout you out. You know, I first heard of you on Rance's stream and Saeed, so I really like the content that you put out. Yeah, I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm a United fan. And let's just say things are not looking bright at the moment, and it's the The Arsenal game, I would just say with the Arsenal game, it was a poor performance. I know some people in our fan base want to think that, you know, we were robbed at the end. I don't really think so. I think we approached the game poorly. Arsenal were not great either, and I feel like a 1-1 potentially would have been a fair result. But I just feel like overall it's not good enough. The manager is clueless. He doesn't really know what he's doing at the moment. Experimenting with too many things. Just, you know, being stubborn. I feel like for me, if you're Pep and Klopp, you have that, like, you can be stubborn because you've won trophies. Ten Hag has only come into this league and has a Carabao Cup to his name. I don't feel like he has that luxury to be stubborn. I feel like he needs to play his best players in every game to win the game. And it's going to be interesting to see now we have Amrabat, you know, if he's going to tweak that midfield and have Casemiro play alongside with Amrabat, and then maybe he brings on Bruno, or he rotates Bruno with Mount or Eriksen, and just leaves the deeper positions for Amrabat and Casemiro. But it's not a good place right now.
Do you know what? It's interesting you should say that, and I'm not making this up. You'll see in the morning. Look, I have a guy that does my Instagram and my TikTok for me, and he says to me every now and then, "Listen, I need 5 or 6 little 60-second videos from you about different things in football," and then he puts them out in the morning about 8 a.m. And the video tomorrow is entitled "Man United Are a Mess." And look, I think that the key thing for me is this isn't Ten Hag's first season. So, for example, you look at Postecoglou before he came to Spurs and you go, right, you're going to need some time. It's a brand new philosophy. It's a brand new club for him. The signing, at the moment, the team isn't all his. I mean, to a degree, you can say that about Pochettino at Chelsea, although that's a completely different nightmare going on over there. And then you look at Ten Hag, who's this isn't his first year, and this is his team now. He's had a lot of money to spend across 3 windows. He's gone and got the first choice goalkeeper he wanted in Onana. He's gone and got Amrabat that he wanted. He's got Højlund that he wanted. Mason Mount was one that he wanted. He wanted Casemiro. He wanted Malacia, Anthony.
He's got
Martinez. Right. So the
The
question from me, Paul, is you've got your targets. You're the manager. You now have been at this club for over a year. Let's see what your identity is. Does the team reflect you as a manager? And I'll be honest. I watch Man United. I don't know what they are. I don't know what your tactics are. I don't know what your ethos is.
And that's the thing for me, because it's like you use Postecoglou as an example. To be fair, I don't want to say I'm jealous of Spurs because we're more of a superior club to Spurs, but just the way you're playing right now, it's just like, I really wish like we could play it like that, because you have James Maddison, and you were talking about signings of the summer. That's a steal. I'm surprised Arsenal, Chelsea, United, even Manchester City to a certain degree, because now they have De Bruyne out, didn't go for him. So I'm like, he's come in and has really shifted the way you guys have, you know, playing now, you know, especially in that midfield with Sarr and Basuma, who just looks like a brand new signing for you guys. With Ten Hag, it's just, there's no style of playing. For me, it's almost going back to the Ollie days now, because it's like, these are the same things we criticize Solskjaer for. Like, oh, you have no style of play, picking favorites. And listen, I give him credit. He's won a trophy. But I just feel like at the end of the day, it's not good enough. And
let me ask you this, Paul. Do you see, forget what I think as a fan from an outside club, but for you as supporting this club, do you look at the club this year and think we are much better equipped this year to get closer to City? And let's be fair, City are the not because they're your rivals, because City are the elite of the Premier League. Yeah. Do you look and say we're better equipped? We've got a good style. We know the team. Everyone's happy, and we can actually get closer to them this year.
I feel like we are far off. In fact, at one point I had us finishing 8th. I think right now I have to be a bit more realistic and say, okay, cool, maybe we could finish 6th, but still, Still far off. We finished third last season. So I would say the only saving grace for us right now is Hoyland and Amrabat. I think
Right.
that's the only thing right now we can. And it's sad pinning your hopes on two players for the season, but I'm only saying this because we need to see how Amrabat really works in that midfield. Because if it's how I think it's going to work, then that could really be a kick side, or kick up to our season, and it could really help Casemiro. Hoyland's cameo against Arsenal was actually very fantastic. I just feel like the way we lost the game was I just didn't really want to talk about it, but it was actually really good. So it's going to be.
It's what I said earlier. I think you were in the background when I said this earlier. I just felt with Hoyland from the moment he came on, he wants to go and be a centre forward.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds strange, but so many clubs now play with forwards that they don't want the fight.
Yeah.
They want the build-up. They want the link-up play. They want to run. But every now and then, you've got to go and let a centre-back know that, hey, you've not got an easy time. When that ball's in the air. So, look, for example, the first minute he came on, I saw him. The centre-back was in his back. And he was pushing back like that as if to say, no, you're not getting this. I'm getting it.
Yeah.
And it was completely different to having Martial, Rashford and Anthony doing the same thing, right? So, him, Amrabat, obviously, Varane missing is a huge thing for you guys.
A huge blow. So I mean,
once you get those free,
we'll see what happens. But I just feel like at this point, we'll wait and see. But it's really sticky. But listen, on Spurs side, I have to give you guys credit because for your manager really to come in now and really do what he's doing. I mean, second place. I think you guys, to be fair, will finish in the top 4. I actually don't think it's going to be a problem, and I actually will go as far as to say this. You see Arsenal on the 24th of September at the Emirates. I think you guys are going to win that. I really think you guys are going there to make them work, to be honest.
I think it'll be a really good game. I feel the disappointment last season, we played them twice, and both times I can only speak as me as a fan, both times I felt that we didn't approach it like a North London derby. Both times we approached it as in they're much better than us, just sit back. And Spurs fans want to see us going toe-to-toe. They're Arsenal, right? They're Arsenal. If you're going to lose the game because we actually went and attacked them and tried to play football and tried to score. But listen, can we win? Sure. Will we win? Listen, we've not won at the Emirates for a long time, so it's going to be tough.
Records are there to be broken. So,
sure. I like your optimism.
I think, and listen, I don't have any issue with Spurs because we've never really had any like serious rivalry compared to Liverpool, City, Arsenal, or even Chelsea. So, listen, if anyone could really bring a downer on rivals who just humiliated us, a few days ago, listen, I'd be happy for that. So. Yeah.
Listen, I really appreciate that, Paul, and you're welcome back anytime. Listen, thanks for coming on, and I hope that you have a good day out there in Los Angeles. Enjoy, my friend.
You too, man.
Take care. See you later, mate. I'm going to bring Sam on. Just before I do, we are going to go for another 15 minutes. If anyone else would like to come on after Sam, then the link is in the chat. I will be stopping just before 7 o'clock, though. And what I would say is we are now only 5 subscribers away from 10,900. 5 people. There's over 378 of you in here. Let's smash that button and let's get the next guest on. So we have got Sam West, 34. Sam, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. How about you?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. It's really hot. I've got too many lights on me, but other than that, I am very well. Where are you phoning in from, and what's your team?
Actually, I'm also a Spurs fan, and I'm from the Netherlands. So.
Wow. Okay. Nice. Like it. Whereabouts in the Netherlands are you?
I'm from Rotterdam, but I'm actually also an Ajax fan. I became a Spurs fan because of the Ajax connection in the past. Vertongen, Eriksen, that kind of players. Actually watched more of Spurs. And I like players. So, yes, that
top players, Vertonghen, Eriksen, Alderweireld, all of that link. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Sam, what is it that you wanted to say, my friend?
I first wanted to say about Manchester United. I actually think Ten Hag is making an Ajax team without without his best players being able to play in the Ajax system.
Right.
Because I don't like Bruno Fernandes as a 10 for Manchester United if you want to play the Ajax system, because he buys a lot of players who are able to play it, but his best players aren't the type of players you like to see in that system. Rashford isn't the left winger who is dangerous, who can create something by himself. He's more like a transition player. And the same about Bruno. He isn't the creative player you want to see on the 10 position. He's a good player. I don't want to say anything bad about him, but if you
So what do Man U need to buy then to make the Ajax model similar to what Ten Hag had at Ajax? What do they need to do? What do they need to buy into their 11?
Actually, but Chiesa or Leao, but that's maybe too much if you with this owners, you know.
Yep.
But a player who's direct. Yeah, Chiesa.
Yeah,
I actually wanted him at Spurs, but we would buy him with our money. So.
Yeah, listen, I would love Chiesa. I think he's a fantastic player. He's scored a couple of great goals this season already. I would definitely have him in the team. I mean, you said obviously you wanted to talk about Man United first, but what is it that you wanted to talk about after that?
I wanted to talk about a transfer strategy. I don't like it.
Spurs?
Yeah, of course.
You don't like it, or you do like it?
I don't.
Okay, talk to me. What don't you like about it?
I don't like we aren't active on the South American market. We buy Felice, but he isn't really the South American talent we be looking for, I think.
Okay.
Because I think he's more like I saw a couple of clips. He isn't the style of player I want to see in this Spurs side.
Right.
Because you already have Richie. I like Richie as a person, but as a footballer, no. So, and I think.
Do you know when you say that though about Valise? I mean, I think the difficulty thing when we're saying our transfer strategy, I think that is just one signing. Now, I agree with you. I feel like that signing felt really random to me. It was kind of like, where did this come from? Like all of a sudden, like I understood Maddison from the Premier League as a no-brainer. Solomon, everyone had seen in the Premier League. Yes. And then all of a sudden it was some 19-year-old striker and everyone's going, who? What? Why? And his style of play is very different from everything at our club, right? In terms of he looks to me, I've not seen him live. I'm just going by videos that I've seen. He looks to me like a throwback to the old centre forwards who like it in the air. He's good in the air, strong, powerful, but he doesn't look very quick. He doesn't look very nimble. So, a random signing, right?
Yeah. And also the point we look in South America, because from the sources I heard we bid also for Vitor Roque, who's going to Barcelona. But I think if you want to spend that amount of money, if it's true, you can also spend more on the more, how do you say it? By not that popular kind of name, but still good talents. Because I think if we approach it that way, we can also get more talent in our squad, because now we have to pay a lot of millions for a good player.
Sure. No, listen, I completely agree with you. I think what we will see more when we're talking about a transfer strategy, I think we will see that more over the next 3 or 4 windows that Ange is here. I think it's difficult to say in his first window because he only joined after the window was already open, but I'm looking forward to see what has he got planned for January. You know, are him and the new director of football, whoever that's going to be, are they going to have these names planned and ready for when the window opens? Or are we going to get to a window and just try and buy everybody and anybody that becomes available? So listen, we'll see, my friend. But look, it's a good start to the window and a good start to the season. And we've got to be happy with it, right?
Yeah, we got to be happy. I didn't expect this, but because I didn't know who Ange was, really. I don't watch Scottish football. I wanted the Arne Slot from Feyenoord because I know he plays the same way, and he actually also makes players better. So I'm actually happy with Ange, and hopefully we can hold this on. But I don't really think if we got an injury, because medicine. if Madison got injured. Lo Celso isn't the same kind of player. Bizuma, we're going to miss him. Who's going to replace Bizuma in January?
Yeah, listen, listen, I'm not sure if you've seen my predictions. I've said that I think with this 11, I think everyone knows our 11 now. With this 11, everyone's fit for the season. In my hypothetical world, I think we finish 4th or 5th. I think the moment Madison's out for 5 games, Romero or Van de Ven, Basuma, Udogi, I think once we get a couple of injuries, that is when we're going to see how we cope. Now, at the moment, that's all hindsight because it hasn't happened yet. But listen, we could be in for a good season. We really could be, and then we kick on.
Actually can.
Yep. But the important thing is, Sam, I think the important thing is if we have a really good year this year, and everyone can see what we're doing, and everyone likes the way we're playing. When we get to the summer next year, how do we back him? How do we say, right, you've done brilliantly with that. Now we're going to take you to there. Now we are going to look at the Chiesas. Now we are going to look. Do you know what I mean? That's
I don't know if we're going to do that because maybe Conte didn't play the style good, but we got 4th in a good way the second half of the season. We actually scored a lot of goals. And we didn't back him. We bought Richarlison. I like Richarlison, but 60 million, you can also spend 30 and 30 for an attacker. He was a backup. So we have to. But the thing is, with Ange, he also can make players better. So we can say we back him with 80 million, 20, 25 million kind of buys. But I want to back him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, look, let's see. Time will tell. At the moment, we trust in him. And listen, Sam, I've got one more person to get on before I finish the show. Listen, thanks for calling in and enjoy your day out there in. What's the time for you? Are you an hour in front?
Yeah, it's now 19:51. So
okay. Well, listen, you enjoy what's left of your evening, and I'll speak to you again soon. Okay, my friend.
Yeah. Bye.
Take care, buddy. See you later. And we have got Hotspur Way TV. Big up to you. How are you, my friend?
How are you, SAVVA? I'm all right, thank you.
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. I am sorry, I'm really, really hot, and hopefully,
oh no, man, tell me about it.
It is hot. Where are you phoning in from today?
I'm phoning in from London. I live in London, so yeah.
Which bit? Whereabouts in London are you?
I'm in East London right now. Yeah.
Okay, what sort of West Ham territory? Are we that sort of way?
Yeah, around there. They don't like me much around here.
Okay, cool. I take it you're Spurs.
Yeah, of course, all the way.
Good. What is it what you wanted to say, my man? You're the last caller for the day. So what is it that you wanted to say?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say, look, I'm shocked at what Ange has come in and done. I think he's definitely brought that feel-good factor to the club. I think this transfer window, a lot of Spurs fans, they do need to calm down a bit. I'm sure you've heard as well, us being shoehorned into title races and title charges. So let's slow down a bit, guys. Let's just remember we are Tottenham, right? Let's just remember that. But no, of course, in all honesty, I'm just so pleased to see the boys look like they're enjoying their football again, which is great. The fans at the stadium, I don't think I've seen a smile for that long, So
listen, I think the key thing that you've touched upon there, listen, we can all talk about the wonderful football. We can all talk about points on the board and second on the table. I think the key thing is it's the smiles on the faces and it's the togetherness. And when you look at this team at the moment, they're fighting for each other for every ball. And it's almost as though they believe in what is happening. And I always felt that the players looked really... Listen, as a fan, I was so bored of watching Conte-style football. I was so bored of it. And I almost got the feeling that the players were bored of it.
Yeah, I agree. I think as well, how Conte handled himself off the pitch didn't really help as well. A lot of people were saying, we shouldn't have sacked him. We should have stuck with him. But, how he came out and spoke about the players, which is what I love about Ange. He's come out in the press conferences. He doesn't throw players under the bus. He made it clear what his intentions are. And I think, we really have to get behind this man. We're going to lose games. We're going to concede goals. We're going to be upset some weekends. We're going to be buzzing some weekends. But it's just all about the patience. And I hate to sound like an Arsenal fan, but unfortunately, there is a process that we have to wait for.
Yeah. Look, there is. Look, I think you've hit the nail on the head again. There are going to be setbacks. I think, you know, I see a lot of fans going through all the games at the moment and going, yeah, look at our next 12 games, and that's 10 wins and 2 draws. And you're like, whoa, hang on. Let's slow down. You're going to pick up a couple of defeats. There's going to be a defeat. There's going to be a draw that you should have won. And the important thing is that what we don't do is the moment we don't win that game, that we all start going, oh, there you go. It's terrible. It's really, really bad. Postecoglou should go back to Celtic. And look, let's be fair. This guy has changed the minds of many. I was really pleased when we hired this guy. I was really pleased. I'm not saying I get every call right. I get as many calls right as you would and the next person. But this one, I was so happy. And a lot of fans were going, oh, my God, this is underwhelming. He's done it in Celtic. He's done it in Scotland and Japan and Australia. And here he is, completely turning around our football club in 3 months. And let's be honest, we've got Sheffield United at home. I mean, if ever there was a chance to stamp your authority on the beginning of a season, Sheffield United at home, to make it 13 points from 15 points available, that's the time, right?
That's the time. No, I 100% agree. And again, this is what I think us as Spurs fans need to kind of understand, what, you know, because again, you're absolutely right. We have to understand that, look, the season isn't going to be the greatest. You know, we might get top 4, maybe top 5. I don't know. Me personally, I said I would be happy with 7th and seeing the steps, seeing the progression, seeing the style of play change, you know, seeing the attitude of players, seeing players like Eric Dyer, like how he gets to wear a Spurs shirt. My goodness. I could wear a Spurs shirt and probably put a better performance on than him. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah. I think that's the key thing. Well. Yeah, listen, I think that's the key thing. I said in the summer, look, I'm not putting expectations on. I know lots of people going, we must win a cup. I don't think we must win a cup. We've not won a cup for so long. Why must we in his first season? I think we'll definitely get into Europe. I think the question's going to be which Europe. I think, and at the moment, I'll be honest, I see City as, I think City will run away with it. And then I see the next group for me is Liverpool and Arsenal.
Yeah.
And the question is, for me, I think then Spurs are in the next group. Now,
with the Man United,
Spurs,
Chelsea, and
Man U, Chelsea, Brighton, Villa, Newcastle. Now, the question is, can anyone else from that little group go and start trying to keep up with Arsenal and Liverpool? And listen, I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen, but I just see these teams have too much firepower. Like when I watch Liverpool, they've just got, they have chance after chance after chance. And when you've got forwards that good, you are going to win more games than you don't. So
100%.
I'll make you right. Look, listen, thanks so much for calling in. I really, really appreciate it. Feel free to come back anytime. What's your name? Let's get a real name.
Jamal.
Okay, nice to meet you. My name's SAVVA. So I'm sure you knew that.
I'm a fan.
But listen,
big fan.
Thank you so much, mate. I'll see you again next. We'll do this next week, all right?
100%. Take care.
Cheers, man. Have a good evening. Yeah. Big up to absolutely everybody. Thank you so much to all my guests. I think we have some really, really good calls there today. Some really good talking points, not just about Spurs. I am going to let you go. It's Tuesday evening. I don't think there's many people doing Spurs content tonight. I know Alan from Time Added On is about to go live with an epic show for you guys. I'm going to send you over there to watch that. If you want to stay with him, please do. All I will ask is we are now 5 subscribers away from 10,900. There's 300 of you exactly left in here. If 5 of you could just smash this subscribe button on your way out, you would be my heroes. And we'll be back tomorrow morning for the 10 a.m. morning chat with SAVVA. And as always, thank you very much. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. And as always, come on, you Spurs.